Hey, it's me, Sean, and we're going to talk about Pastor Steve's most recent sermon. So, Steve, you were preaching from Ephesians 6, and the command that you were referencing was the command there to be strong. So you identified that there's strong Christians, and they're not going to be moved from Christ, right? Now, would you say that that's a problem in today's church, being moved from Christ?
Yeah, I'd say, yeah, it's always been a problem. So, I mean, you start with, let's start New Testament. There's Judas, right?
Right.
And I mean, he was actually one of the 12, right? Intimate with Jesus, and betrayed him with a kiss for some coins,
Right.
and never came back. Went out and killed himself. So there's a start. And then you go to Peter, almost left Christ, right? And then there's a guy named Demas in the New Testament. Paul writes about him and says, "Come to me quickly, because Demas has forsaken us, having left us, having loved this present world." So he's out doing ministry with the Apostle Paul, and he decided, no, you know what? I love the world more. I want to go back to the world, and left Paul. So there's just always been people like this. There are more. There's in the book of Hebrews, I mentioned this in church today, but there's the some from among you that are addressed again and again and again throughout that book. Like he's talking to believers, and then he says, but there are some from among you, and he describes them as having had a commitment to Christ, but they never had a regenerate soul, so they don't continue. Or there's those like in John chapter, this is a weird verse, John 6:66, so it's 666. And guess what happens in that verse? It says, then many of those who followed him, Jesus, went back and followed him no more. So this was a problem in Jesus' earthly ministry. Here they are with Jesus, God in the flesh, the Son of God, speaking the words of wisdom like the world has never heard. And at a certain point, he gave them some hard teaching. Then many of them went back and followed him no more. So always a problem. Problem throughout church history, and in my brief experience in church history, since I was a believer at 17 and up till now, it's not like there's a ton of people leaving Christ, but there's always somebody, and there's another one, and there's another one. Sometimes there are notorious or well-known pastors, and of course the media seizes those to well, here's a black eye for the church, let's rub it in a little bit. So that happens periodically as well. But yeah, it's always a problem. And it's something to worry about as a pastor. Like when you don't see somebody for a while, you're thinking, all right, what's going on with them? Are they
okay?
Are they getting led away? Yeah. What about you? Have you known anybody who appeared to be a Christian, said they were a Christian, and then didn't keep on following Christ?
Yeah, I mean, two, actually, as you say that, two come to mind in particular, and I still pray for them, hoping that maybe God will right them.
Maybe they'll come back
at some point.
Yeah, amen.
Yeah.
Well, may the Lord use this to strengthen the brothers, huh?
Indeed.
Yeah.
All right, Steve.
Thanks,
Gotta
John.
go. I'll see you on
See you.
Thursday.
All right.